Define types of smoke detectors. Optical smoke detector. There is a constant beam of light in a detector head with a light-sensitive cell offset from the light beam. In the absence of smoke, the light passes in front of the detector head in a straight line. When smoke enters the optical chamber into the path of the light beam, some light is scattered by the smoke particles, and this is detected by the diode sensor initiating the alarm. Beam detector. The beam detector operates on a transmitter-receiver system. A unit on a wall sends out a beam which is either received by a receiver or reflected back via a mirror. When a beam is less visible to the eye of the sensor because of smoke, it sends an alarm signal to the fire alarm control panel. Ionizing detector. The chamber of an ionizing detector has two plates set apart, one charged negatively and the other positively. Any tiny mass of americium-241, a source of alpha radiation, ionized the chamber. When smoke enters the chamber, it absorbs the alpha particles, reducing the ionization and interrupting the current and setting off the alarm. Define heat detectors. Fixed temperature heat detector. It has a sensing element fixed at a particular temperature. By means of a thermocouple or similar arrangement, it detects when the predetermined temperature is reached. Rate of rise heat detector. A rate of rise heat detector is set to detect a fixed rise in temperature over a given period. It will respond to rapid rises in temperature, usually by means of electronic or thermistors. Explain the main features of a fire alarm system. Manual call points. It allows manual operation if a fire alarm by breaking the glass of the point. Its prerequisite is the presence of a person to detect the fire and activate the alarm by using it. Automatic fire detection system. It detects fire automatically and activates the alarm. Alarm sounders. It provides audible warning of activation of the fire alarm either by siren or pre-recorded message. Flashing beacons. It provides a visual warning of activation of the fire alarm. Alarm zones. Division of the complex into different zones in order to enable quicker location of the position of the fire and allow staged evacuation. Fire panel. It provides information to the fire service of the location of the alarm activation, and an automatic link to a call center, control room or monitoring center would result in a speedy response to the outbreak of fire. Where portable fire extinguishers should be sited on a fire escape route. Close to an exit from a room, either inside or outside walls, or floor, or final exit in conspicuous and identical position on each floor. Where the persons don't have to travel more than 30 meters to reach an extinguisher. Placed on dedicated floor stand or hung on a wall at a height no more than 1 meter from the floor for ease of handling. Accessible and unobstructed, but should not obstruct the flow of people away from elements and extreme temperatures such as hot processes, etc. Weekly or monthly inspection. Located in correct position. Not discharged or tampered with. Correct pressure. No obvious damage. Annual inspection. A thorough inspection of extinguishers should be carried out by a competent person on an annual basis. This may include internal and external inspection, dependent upon the type of extinguisher, and its components such as cartridges, hoses and seals. All extinguishers should have a discharge test after 5 years except CO2, which is discharged after 10 years. Why the following should fire escape route. Emergency lightings. The provision is required by ISO and WHSW regulations. Operates to provide illumination in escape routes when main lighting circuits may have been shut down, or escape route have no natural or borrowed lights, or to be used outside normal daylight hours. Should be provided so the fire exit signs and escape routes are visible. to allow clear indication of fire safety equipments, for example fire alarm call points, fire extinguishers, etc. To illuminate changes in direction or floor level. To prevent panic. Also required in large open plan areas or where it is necessary to shut down hazardous processes or plant. Escape route signs. The provision is required by law to help to identify the location of exits from any place within a building. To indicate the safe direction of travel if the location of an exit is hidden or not obvious. To denote the route with the shortest travel distance when there is a choice of escape routes. To identify the location of assembly points and refuge areas. Which compartmentation in a building might be compromised. Poorly maintained or badly fitting fire doors. Fire doors which have been wedged open. The absence of or damage to smoke or intumescent seals. The absence of or poorly maintained shutters in ducting. Poorly fitting or damaged ceiling tiles in fire-resistant false ceilings. The absence of or damage to fire-resistant glazing and the absence of or damage to cavity barriers. Who would benefit from trembler alarms? Employees with impaired hearing. Those working in a high-noise environment who might be wearing hearing protection. Those working remotely on a large site. Individuals who might be sleeping. How the following devices of fire in a noisy work environment. Audible warnings. It can assist in the early warning of a fire in a noisy work environment. When the alarm sounders produce the same sound throughout the building to avoid confusion. When they are clearly discernible from other audible alarms. When they are sufficiently loud to alert personnel, for example at a minimum level of 65 decibels or 5 decibels above the background noise. Visual warnings. Visual alarms may assist in giving early warning. By supplementing audible alarms. By alerting workers engrossed in their work activities. When they are discernible from other visual alarms. By alerting those wearing hearing protection. For alerting those with impaired hearing or deafness. Explain types of sprinkler systems used in building. Wet pipe system, commonly used in buildings where there is no risk of freezing. They are fast to react because there is always water in the supply pipes to the sprinklers. Dry pipe system, pipes are filled with air under pressure while water is held back by a control valve, which opens and allows water into the pipe work, when a sprinkler head opens causing a drop in air pressure. Alternate wet, dry system, in which pipes are full of water in summer but are drained down, and filled with air under pressure for the winter. Pre-action system, pipes are filled with air but water is let into them when a detector, such as smoke detector, operates. Define the key features of a sprinkler system. Sprinkler head, the water supply feeding water into the system. Control valve, normally kept in open position but shut once the fire is extinguished. Distribution pipes, leading water to the sprinkler heads. Pressure gauges, one to indicate the water pressure in mains, and a second to record the pressure in installations, or in the case of a dry system the air pressure. Booster pump, where the water pressure is insufficient. Wire sprinkler system may be ineffective. Incorrect system has been installed. There is no supply of water. The mains water pressure is insufficient. The sprinkler valves are turned off because maintenance work is being carried out. Freezing of a wet pipe system. The sprinkler heads are obscured or damaged. The fire load is beyond the capacity of the system. A failure in the power supply resulting in the pumps not working. General lack of maintenance to the system. Explain alternative fixed firefighting systems. 1. Hose reels. 2. Dry powder installation. 3. CO2 flooding. 4. Fixed foam installations. 5. Inert gas systems such as argon. Explain the determining adequacy of escape arrangements. The number of persons to be evacuated. The length of time it will take for all occupants to escape to a place of safety, and whether this time is reasonable. Whether there are enough exits in the right place. Whether all escape routes are easily identifiable, unobstructed and adequately illuminated. Whether the type and size of exits are suitable and sufficient for the number and type of persons who will use them, taking into account the presence of disabled personnel. The availability of protected alternative routes for all locations. The designation of a safe assembly point. The provision of instructions to employees on the means of escape. The use of fire drills to train staff in using the means of escape. The adequacy of the arrangement for persons with disabilities. The inclusion of the means of escape arrangement in the emergency plan. Explain the requirements for the fire service. Keeping roadways and vehicle access for appliances clear, providing adequate space and turning circles around the perimeter of the premises. Arranging access for firefighting personnel, for example with someone, preferably having a good knowledge of the site appointed to let them into the building, or having a key holder for the building during out-of-work hours. Providing venting for heat and smoke from basements or other areas. Providing firefighting lifts and shafts. Providing a fire main and wet riser in tall buildings, access to an external mimic panel. Having plans of the building available and ensuring the provision of adequate water supplies. Requirements for access and facilities contained in the building regulations and to the duty placed on the responsible person by Article 38 of the Regulatory Reform, Fire Safety, Order to ensure that the access and facilities provided are maintained in an efficient state, efficient working order and in good repair. Why may activate automatic fire detection systems? Gases, for example carbon monoxide or sulfur dioxide, flame. Heat, smoke. The rate of temperature rise over pressurization. When determining the adequacy of an escape route. The number of occupants to be evacuated. The number of fire escape routes. The length of time it will take for all occupants to escape to a place of safety and whether this time is reasonable. Whether all escape routes are easily identifiable, unobstructed and adequately illuminated. Whether the type and size of exits are suitable and sufficient for the number and type of persons who will use them, taking into account the presence of disabled personnel. The protection of the escape routes including staircases. The adequacy of the arrangements for persons with disabilities, and whether fire doors open in the direction of travel. Where emergency lighting should be fitted in a workplace. At each exit door intended to be used in an emergency. Near internal or external stairs so each dread receives direct light and near to any other level change. Where no natural light occurs or the workplace is used in hours of darkness. At each change of direction. Along corridors and at intersections of corridors. Outside and near to each final exit. Near firefighting equipment and fire alarm call points. At moving stairways and walkways. In large or disabled toilet facilities. In fire refuges. In generator, control and plant rooms and at exit routes from covered car parks.
Please give comment and suggestions.
Thank you.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for more updates. Thank for visit our channel. See you next class.
Thank you.